Philadelphia, a town that has long been known as the city of brotherly love. And with springtime finally emerging in the Northeast, there's even more love in the air than usual, as some of the top scholastic, collegiate, and professional athletes in the nation convene for a week-long carnival of track and field that has been captivating fans for generations. For 126 years, the biggest names in the sport have made the trip to Franklin Field to become part of America's longest-running outdoor track meet. It's an event where winning secures you a place in history.
The Jamaicans and the Americans, rivals renewed.
Connor Lane, less than 100 to go.
UTEP and A&M going head-to-head.
And the U.S. takes the opening race. The next chapter is about to be written as the 2018 outdoor season begins in earnest tonight at the 124th Penn Relays. Welcome to Philadelphia. Hints of green suggest spring has arrived. Even Rockies celebrating the prospects of warmer temperatures, and what better way to enjoy spring than a stroll through Locust Walk on your way to the Penn Relays. NBC Sports and USATF welcomes you to the 2018 Penn Relays. Hi, everybody. I'm Paul Swangard, joined by Craig Masbach, Sonia Richards-Ross, and Carolyn Mannon will join us in a few minutes. They talk about this as a carnival. It's chaos, but it's a lot of fun, and both of you have experience here. Craig, why is it so fun to come here every spring?
I think the word carnival definitely applies. I ran here 9 times over the years, twice in high school, 4 times in college, 3 times as a professional. 2 stories tell it all. My first year here, junior in high school for White Plains High School in New York, a guy leaned out of the stands as I walked to the starting line, said he'd bet on me. That had never happened before. My last race, an invitational mile, I won it. I won on a Penn Relays watch, which I gave to my dad.
And for you, Sonia, 2 years ago, we were here to call your last appearance. You've got a lot of experience here. The crowds have always embraced you. Now a chance to enjoy it as part of the crowd. Why do you enjoy coming back?
Man, whenever I think about my career, some of the fondest moments are competing here at the Penn Relays, and it's just really exciting for me to be able to call these meets. You think about why it's so exciting. It's because most of the time you think about track and field, you think about these athletes running individual events, but when they come here, they're a part of a team, and they run for their universities, their high schools, and their countries, and the fans just give that energy back to them. It's incredible, and I'm excited to be on this side calling the races today.
Well, you can see the crowd filling the stands here at Franklin Field, more than 100 on demand. Learn more at NBCSportsGold.com. As we return to the track, it's the high school boys mile run. We had just mentioned Alan Webb and his squad from South Lakes. No longer that Penn Relays record holder in the boys DMR. He still holds the U.S. high school record in this event in the mile, though, Craig, as we begin this race, I think one of the favorites in this race is not going to compete.
Josh Hoey, who won the race a couple of years ago, was the favorite, won the Milrose Games in 4:07 during the indoor season, set a national high school record at the 800 meters of 1:47 indoors, but he's a late scratch and we won't see him in this race. Kind of opens things up for a number of the other guys, including Ryan Lockett from Poolesville, Maryland, who will be headed to the University of Virginia. He's run a 4:08.82 this year.
Kieran McDermott, the senior from Bel Air in Bel Air, Maryland, out to the early advantage, leading that chase pack. Thomas Lingard of Lexington, Massachusetts, wearing number 9 on his chest. Luis Peralta of Passaic, New Jersey. Robert Miranda of Menlo School in Atherton, California, speaks to the not only this a Northeast event, but kids coming out from all over the country to compete. Did you ever try an 800?
I actually have, Paul. I ran the 800 once in high school, and I ran it once in college, but I don't want to talk about it.
So combined, you've run almost a mile on the track.
Combined, yes.
Combined.
Enthusiastic first lap by Kieran McDermott of around 62 seconds. His best mile is only around 4:14, but he has run a 1:52.800. So when you can run a 1:52.800, a 62 opening lap feels pretty easy, but he's got to maintain that or keep that pace going if he's going to win this race.
Well, everyone's still in the race here. A tight pack as they come around to the main straightaway.
Of course, some great runners over the years have won this race, including Matthew Centrowitz, the 2007 winner who won the Olympics in 2016 for the U.S. First American to win the 1,500 meters at the Olympics since 1908, so a little gap there between those two victories.
Miranda and McDermott, 1 and 2 side by side as they go through the halfway mark in 2:08. Now a little bit of surge by Mazen Ahmed of Schenectady, New York. And he's going to push the pace a little bit here on lap number 3.
His best only 4:18, but this is what happens when you run a 62 first lap and then come back in almost 67 for the second lap. They were 2:09 halfway. Lots of people can get back into the race.
Keep an eye on Ryan Lockett now in 6th position as he slowly begins to move up on the outside shoulder of the top 5, maybe just kind of lurking in the weeds here, waiting for the last lap to make his move. But again, Ahmed trying to make a move at the front, creating a little bit of a gap between him and the next nearest competitor. Cameron Ponder now of Mount Tabor, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, moves into second.
And Craig, I think even if for a moment, if I were a distant runner and maybe I didn't have the fastest time, I'd want to take the lead for a little bit here at Penn Relay and say, hey, I was at the front of the pack for a while, and really pushing himself here. Like you said, not one of the fastest in the field, but look how gutsy he is, really putting his head down and still trying to go after it.
Yeah, I mean, you only have so many moves that you can make, so you've got to be careful. These guys battling so hard down the backstretch could leave themselves vulnerable in the home stretch, but this is a strong move by Cameron Ponder.
Cameron Ponder to the lead. Kieran McDermott, who led early on in this race and gave up the lead, has now found another gear himself, and those two are going to battle for this championship at the Penn Relays at the mile distance.
And remember, McDermott ran the 1:52.800 just a couple of weeks ago, and that's what's going to take him to this victory.
So Kieran McDermott of Bel Air, Maryland will cross the line and break the tape and take the victory here at the mile distance, and we'll wave to the crowd. Under 4:10 for this effort, now officially 4:09.63.
Well, and he did that with a 56 last lap. It was a really strong move made by Ponder, but maybe a little bit too early. I talked about how hard he battled down the backstretch. And a 56 last lap, that's good at any pace. A 5-second personal best for the winner, McDermott.
Well, if you're going to have a personal best, might well make it here at the Penn Relays, taking the victory in 4:09.63. The track and field action has only just begun. Watch us again tomorrow as Team USATF takes to Franklin. Well, be sure to tune in to USATF.TV Plus for extended coverage of all the events at this year's Penn Relays. Watch live coverage of the Penn Relays with on-demand replays, athlete interviews, and more. Sign up today at USATF.TV. Join us again tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern for the conclusion of the Penn Relays. And for Sonia Richards-Ross, Craig Masback, and Carolyn Mano, I'm Paul Swangard saying so long from Franklin Field.